Hello and welcome back to the Seleucid campaign. I am the heir of Carthage, of course, because that would be weird for me to be someone else on this channel. And I hope you all are excited for some more Total War Rome 2 action. We've had a very exciting campaign so far. It looks like that we have somewhat won the satrapy wars. There is still a stack of Arcosians back here, which was pointed out to me by some of you in the comments. I do see them. The reason they haven't attacked yet is because they will get beat down if they attack Alexandria. Now, they may go around me and go elsewhere, but I did give a, I gave an attack mission for one of my, so Media has an attack issued on Aracosia, so we'll see what happens there. I just can't get enough armies these days. I have a war with Colchis going, and I am moving. Looks like Antiochus is headed that way, or at least he should be. I don't see the movement order anymore. I could have sworn that I had him moving for the Colchian border. There we go. I'm going to move Antiochus to the Colchian border. I'm going to ignore this last settlement for the Aracosans with that army. I'll use the Pericles Pride army to take care of them. Speaking of, we've got a building here that we need to build. I'm going to have... I don't want two Polisidoros barracks here. This one's almost completed, so I think I'm going to stop work on that one. And we'll do the Perioicus camp instead. And then here, I think I'm going to go ahead and build yet another muster field, and we'll put like a stables in. So we have the full recruiting capability in that province. Someone said that I had an open building slot at Persepolis, and they were worried about Apache Factory. This is not an open building slot. It's an expansion that I can make, and I just haven't used it yet. So I'm not about to get Apache Factory here. I mean, do appreciate you keeping an eye out, because me getting Apache Factory is totally possible. That's like my kryptonite in this game from past campaigns. That's why I'm sitting here going through each and every settlement at the turn-ins at the moment, so that I can make sure that I have not allowed this to transpire. But it is possible, so do appreciate you taking the time to point it out. And speaking of, thanks for all the comments, both on episode 19 and episode 18. Episode 18 was the one that came out late, that I had been trying to stream and trying all kinds of other stuff, and it didn't work, and you all just absolutely unloaded in the comments, and I appreciate it. And then, of course, we still had a good response to the last one, too. Almost 100 comments on that. Please continue to interact. It helps a lot. It just takes a few seconds. Get down there and interact, and it will certainly make a huge difference in the number of viewers that this gets to. And then, of course, it helps me because most of the comments you all leave are either, one, very entertaining, and I enjoy reading them for just that purpose, or two, you all give me a lot of good tips and stuff, and that really does help out a considerable amount in terms of helping me, not only decide where we want to go in the campaign, what we want to do. It lets me know whether or not I'm doing a good job of kind of making a fun narrative, or making things interesting for you. There's just a lot of benefits to you all interacting beyond the fact that it helps more people find the videos too. So definitely appreciate it. And if you want to talk through something today, I realized we're going to need something. We're going to need like a really good one-liner, or, like some kind of James Bond one-liner, like where he harpoons a guy and says, "I think he got the point," or something like that. For when we take Rome, we're going to need something real witty, something Alexander or Carthage-based, very witty to throw at the Romans. And if you come up with a good enough one, I will use yours and then make sure you get credit for it whenever we finally get there. So you might get to be that one-liner that gets to make fun of Rome when the time comes that we step foot into its streets. Some of you are excited, too, because Hannibal, we found out that Carthage is under Roman control and that he's headed to liberate it. Let's hope he lives long enough to liberate it. He is an old man at this point. He is very old. And he's not getting younger as we move along here. So Hannibal is 69 years old, and there is a 4-turn per year mod here. So he is moving towards Carthage. I don't even know if he'll make it to Carthage. Now, he does have a successor, and his successor is an adopted son He doesn't have any natural-born children at the moment, but if we go and take a look at the character screen here, he has two adopted sons, or sorry, two adopted daughters who have a son-in-law. Now, his immediate heir, as far as son-in-laws go, is this General Dionysiodorus? I think it's like a play on Dionysus. But in any case, it's quite the name. And then he's got Bendis here, who I wish I could just rename to Bender from Futurama, because that would make me very happy as well. So anyway, we've got them in the family tree. We'll see whether or not they have children. This guy's wife is pretty old to be bearing children, and so is she. So we may have to continue along the adoption track in order to keep his family alive, but that's fine. We can do that. Adoption is completely feasible in this game as far as helping us pull it off. So Athena's faithful, back in control of Edessa, though they have brought the plague with them. I'm sure the residents appreciate that, as someone in the comments pointed out. They feel very liberated, just not from a health standpoint. So we're done with this turn-in. We're making good strides. I've got Cyrene under siege. It looks like I am producing siege engines at the moment. Cyrene is going to last an annoyingly long time, and we should be able to beat them down easily in a siege due to the number of thorax swords we have up against pikes and Egyptian infantry and mob. So I don't see this fight going well for them. They don't have anything of any substantive melee value here. So by the time I continue getting a couple of siege engines, we'll go ahead and take them out. Our fleet is headed up to escort Hannibal back to his motherland and begin the retaking of what was once rightfully his. And then, of course, it will all be dedicated to Alexander's memory at this point. So let's take a look at what we should do next. Honestly, I could use another army, but that's also going to take up a lot of resources, so perhaps we should spend our resources while we have it, improving what we already own. This gymnastics thing is really nice because it's just money and public order. There's no downside to it, so we should probably be using plenty of these in our small settlements. It's a good way to get public order and money without having to pay the food tax, so to speak. Just kind of taking a look through some of our buildings here. Let's go ahead and build this farm up. I'm not like in any immediate hurt for food, but I do want to keep my food supply very strong. I was asking you all a question about it going up and down, and I'm reminded by someone in the comments that the food is seasonal, so it goes up and down according to seasons, and that can change quite a bit depending on the season. So like, for instance, fall is harvest time, and you end up with more food, but that worries me because, you know, if it's autumn and this is our harvest, we should be doing better than that. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. Convert that back over to the gym thing. Plenty of gyms going on in our empire. Gotta make sure people are fit. Let's take a look. Persephone, I can expand and get another building there. I just don't really need it at the moment. So, again, I've had people ask about that. That's the reason why I haven't done anything there yet. Really worry about Navisos having replenishment, so I'm going to swap that over to a proper farm. Edessa is still very much at risk from Colchis. Some people told me that historically it'd be pronounced Colchis, but I'm just going to say Colchis. That's the way I read it. So, and someone had the same thing. I think I say Pyrrhus, and they say it should be Pyrrhus. And, you know, we do say Pyrrhic victory. Pyrrhus, I guess. I don't know. It has a Y there, and that would typically be a hard Y in the English language. So I'm going hard Y for now. Sorry if it bugs you to no end, but that's just the way it's going to be for now. There we go. So we've spent our money. I'm going to continue to upgrade the food infrastructure. I'm going to retake Charax, and that should add a lot back to it because it had a lot of bonus stuff there. We're going to do that with Hannibal's... this is Hannibal's adopted heir here. Let's take a look at our army movement points, just make sure we haven't forgotten any armies. Pericles' Pride is the only one that has not moved. And I don't want them to move. I'm waiting for better military infrastructure here so that I can fix their army because it's not good enough right now. So let's get the turn end underway. I've got my diplomat on the long march to Rome, gathering information as they go. Man, I can't believe this is episode 20 already. I feel like we just started this. I'm having so much fun with it. Like, this is one of the campaigns where I definitely don't feel like that this is a drag or an annoyance. I guess Dura is going to get taken here, unfortunately. So the Colchians going to continue to be an annoyance. Colchians. Looks like Media is going to snag my former settlement there, help themselves to my territory, rather than following my ask of going after the Arcosians. Arcosians, however you say that. Okay, thriving trade, agrarian yield. Raw material. Let's go with thriving trade. Subversion. Edict canceled. Yeah, because we took that. Ally confirms the war target. Yeah, Media snagged my settlement, so help yourselves. And it looks like they're going to be able to snag Dura too, which would be really frustrating. I don't really want them controlling all of this stuff, but it's just when the Colchians attack that way, I don't really get a lot of options. Like, I get what I get. So this army is so weak that it's not likely to be able to take further settlements over here, especially considering that these settlements have a slightly improved garrison. So I'm going to see what Media does about retaking Dura. I mean, they can get to it before I can anyway. And it looks like I have gotten the Colchians' attention up here in the north. However, Athena's Faithful is recovering from the plague, finally. So I'm going to have to let them sit idle, unfortunately. I hate to open another front right now, but I want Charax back. And these guys are almost certainly going to betray me. So I'm not going to let them sit behind me and get the opportunity to do it. Like, we're just not going to let that happen. I finally got the barracks finished here. And we can now improve it to a hoplite barracks. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to improve the farm here too to offset some of the food we're going to obviously be using up. We've got the fishmonger upgrading as well. So that'll help offset some of the food that's going to cost me to upgrade everything there, which is going to be a fairly considerable amount. The question is, do I just leave these guys be for the time being? I am tempted to do that. I'm thinking I'm just going to leave them be for the time being and march north because Colchis is an annoying threat right now. So I'm going to have to just march north with this army. And see, they've got a whole nother army here, the Bite of the Basilisk. And then our king can begin his long march. And then I've got this army. So we'll have 3 armies ready to face Colchis. And then the Sigartians have this small fleet left that'll probably suicide attack me soon. Medians say they confirm the war target, so we'll see what they do. We've got this raiding back here at Alexandria, which is annoying, but it's not really going to hurt me. See if I have 1 or 2 siege towers ready at Cyrene. We have 2. It'd be good to get 4 in total. That way I can get a fair number of units up onto the walls all at once. Let's continue the siege. I almost clicked the wrong button there so often. Getting my fleet up here as quick as I can. Hannibal is going to be ready and waiting. So we'll get him embarked on the next turn. Now, let's go take a look around. So Hannibal's Revenge is awaiting in position. The Griffin's Grace is in the middle of a siege. Athena's Faithful is busy replenishing. The Heralds of Thanos made their move. Pericles' Pride is awaiting the upgraded military infrastructure and holding off the Sigartian suicide fleet here. The Sons of Rhea. Now, it might make sense to build this army up, and then we can send it as needed. It probably won't be needed in Egypt anymore, especially considering that we have the Cyrenaians essentially turned back at this point. Ammonium now has a pretty decent garrison. I say decent, it's doable. It's not great. So, let's see. We can get to the top tier camp here, which is going to unlock the recruitment of Syrian archers. The Syrian archers are really good. I'm going to start that. I would like to start getting elite tier units. Be very nice. So I say I'm going to start it. Let's take a look at least one more time here from a food and economic standpoint. I've been doing a lot of building upgrades. It takes a lot of food for building upgrades, so I might ought to just go ahead and focus on some more of these irrigation ditches. I'm going to keep some of these cattle farms around. It's less food, but we do get more wealth from it, and still a decent chunk of food. So I think I will probably just spend on irrigation ditches this turn, because we'll get a pretty nice return of food out of those. It goes from 7 to 10, so we get an additional 3 food from each one of those that gets completed. That said, I've pretty much moved all the armies that I can move this turn. Colchis is probably going to take Gazaka. We're going to continue to lose small settlements for a short period of time. We can issue an edict, but I'm going to wait until I can just reissue it in Dura. Even if Media takes Dura, I can issue an edict in Syria still. I would have liked to have held on to some of those small provinces. It's very possible that Media betrays us at some point. And we could end up having to deal with them, and that's another reason why I don't necessarily like them getting a lot of territory, is because then they just get more and more flagrant in their desires to break away. It says we're going to lose this, and we very well might. There's a lot of enemy troops here, but we have 3 pike units. That's enough that we might be able to get our back up against the wall somewhere, so I'm going to attempt a defense here. They also don't have a ton of... They do have a ballista. That could be problematic, because I don't have any cavalry. But we have some good archers here. We even have a Syrian heavy in our garrison. That is indeed a Syrian heavy. I don't know how we ended up with that, but I'll take it. I really, really dislike this map. This is a terrible map. Yeah, this map is awful from a design standpoint. I have to defend 4 different sides. Like, I mean, what's the point of even giving me a defensive map, like a settlement like this, if I don't have better defenses than this? I mean, the Greek giant ballista should theoretically be able to just bombard me to death. I could set up here and have a couple of pike units facing forward. Like, kind of use this as a point, and I've still contest the capture point, and then have my archers. The problem is that bunching up like this is just going to make that Greek onager more effective against me, but I don't really know that I have a lot of options here.
Orders, my lord. Infantry at your command.
I just don't know that I have a lot of options in terms of how I'm going to deploy here. I'm going to hide these mob behind this building, and should I get really lucky and get an opportunity to run out and try and attack the Greek ballista, I will, but by the time those mob get there, it will have probably even used its ammunition, so I don't know. Let's start the battle. I don't think this is going to go well. I don't think this is going to go well at all. I think we're going to get absolutely hammered by that ballista. But we'll hope for the best. Artillery in this game is not great. The AI is not particularly good at using artillery in this game, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to die. Like, if I had to take my guess, I would say that we're dead. Those horse skirmishers are going to be really rough on my levy pikemen, so the quicker my archers could kill them, the better. My guys with shields are taking more damage to the horse skirmishers than the horse skirmishers are to my archers. And they're a large target. They've already killed 40 pikemen with that horse skirmisher unit, and then I had a direct fire pot hit from the artillery, so this is not looking good. This is not looking good. The AI is already doing its little try and pull through the corner thing over here too. Oh, that artillery's absolutely hammering us. We routed the horse archer. I'm gonna try and get up here and help support the flank. Yeah, they're gonna start moving around me. Different angles, and they should. So the AI is making the correct move. There's another horse skirmisher back here, so let's start working on them. It is, of course, doing some pretty massive damage to him. Might as well just fast forward. We're either going to win this or we're not. It's not going to have to do with a lot of maneuvering. It's really going to have to do with whether the AI plays really bad. Oh, this is bad. I didn't realize they could just come down that street. Yes, indeed we are. This is a less than ideal situation for us. Stupid peltist. They've got a couple of peltist units, and they're gonna do just enough damage that it's gonna be a major problem. I'm trying to deal with them using my archers, but peltists have a pretty good shield, and it takes a while. It's actually a slinger that I'm shooting at. It takes a while to burn through a peltist unit, assuming you can get it done at all. There we go. I'm doing what I can to damage the Colchians pretty badly, and we are getting some work done, but I don't think my levy pikemen are going to be able to hold for the extent of this battle. Let's just continue to fast forward, because like I said, this is just a grind. At this point, there's really not a whole lot else happening here. Sweet, my pikes are totally out of position back here too. You can always count on these glitchy attack orders.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
That's why it's better to not use those attack orders when possible. My archers are out of ammunition. I don't even know if my mobs are going to be able to defeat the ballista, but if I can, I'll take it. We're putting up a valiant effort, but I'm pretty sure in the end, just the sheer weight of numbers is going to do us in here. I need another pike unit up here.
Archers! Missile infantry!
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Oh, this is bad. Just lost a levy pike unit up here. And my hillmen will probably lose this fight back here. They've still got a few javelins flying over the top here too. Yeah, my mob routed up against the ballista crew. Oh boy, if you ever wondered whether mob is bad, there's the answer. Let's try and support the flank. It's these with my archers. I don't really have a choice. I mean, we put up a fight. We're going to damage the Colchians very, very badly. We just don't quite have enough pikes to get the job done.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Just not quite enough.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
So that's going to be it. We're going to get chain routed. But at least we caused some pretty severe damage. We cost the Colchians 1,200 troops there, which was half their army. So they lost half of their army in the attempt. So at least slow them down a little. Not ideal, though. Samosata, though, was remember, it was a province, or sorry, a settlement that I took from them. So they're only retaking what was theirs. Remember, I had taken the fight up to them shortly, right when my army had caught the plague. So these types of wars are annoying. It's very annoying because the AI tends to operate more armies than you do because they don't suffer from the same financial penalties. And the AI is a lot more apt to operate a ton of small armies. Look at this. My allies go and take Hatra, but then they just ignore Dura and don't do anything about it. So now I'm going to have to move south to do something about it, which is going to allow this army to move against Antioch and put me under siege, which that is problematic by itself as well. So this is frustrating, the kind of position that I'm in here. So I may... This army, though, has to continue north. We've got to cut off the Colchian invasion at Gazka. I'm going to go ahead and move up here. Get all the way up on the edge of my own territory. We are missing a unit in this army. I can't recruit anything now except for maybe mercenaries, and there's no good mercenaries here to recruit, so we'll just go 1 unit short. Alright, it's time for Hannibal to embark on the fleet here, so let's move the fleet up. Let's take Hannibal and embark. Really? Oh my gosh, man. Let's get embarked. What the heck? This is so weird. Like, alright, whatever. I'm gonna have to fix that on the next turn, so that's irritating. They wouldn't embark. Ugh. All I can do is sigh like Kif Croaker here. Alright, well, we do have one fight that should be good for us here. I've got my siege engines ready. And we are ready for the Battle of Cyrene. I do not expect very competent enemy melee threats here. Start our deployment. Where do I want to attack? It's kind of an annoying angle. More towers over here. There's no gatehouse. Well, there is a gatehouse right here. Let's go right here. I'm gonna pull all my units over here for a minute.
Yours to command.
And I'm gonna send a siege tower on either side of the gatehouse here. I don't know how the pathfinding is gonna work. I guess around these little village thingies. Figure it out. That is the only annoying thing about deploying here. Very possible the enemy could land their ships, like their naval vessels over there. Let's deploy the thorax swords here. Thurio spears will be held in reserve. I'm gonna have my archers ready in case the AI does deploy its fleet down here, and the same thing with some Ozets. So 2 Hellenic cataphracts right here. Let's start the battle. You go right there. Yeah, you can. I should have done that. I'm not used to having that be an open position to siege from. Alright. Yep, their fleet is going to come down over here, so I'm going to bring my Thurio spears over here too. We're going to meet this fleet as soon as it comes ashore, and I'm going to hurt it very, very badly. Way down here. I'll bring my Hellenic cataphracts this direction too. Alright, so the thorax swords are beginning their assault. We've taken some damage on the siege tower. It's at 50%.
By your command.
How come you guys aren't shooting the little ballista thing up there? Maybe there's no target in front of them. Yeah, because those guys have taken some damage. 30% fire damage. I don't think they're going to be able to bring down any of our towers prior to arriving at the walls. We are going to take some damage from their towers. Already lost quite a few swordsmen over here to this tower. Ooh, we got hit by archers right there too. That's not ideal. Whereas javelins. Those Egyptian archers. 42% fire damage. I don't think they're going to be able to stop it though. We're going to get to the walls soon. Okay, the enemy is coming ashore over here. Let's move up. I'm going to need reinforcements this direction and quickly. Just Nubian spears for the moment though, so let's just start mowing them down.
Fire on the enemy!
Should be able to rid ourselves of these units rather quickly. Javelin units in behind us. We gotta be a little bit careful with these. Javelin units coming ashore. Let's get the slingers. Use my Ozat Knights to kind of hold the enemy troops back for a moment while my archers do some work, and until we have reinforcements from the Thurios spears. Alright, we pinned up those javelin men. These slingers are going to go down. Just trying to block these units up for the moment with my Ozat Knights. See what's happening over here. Siege tower's safe, so we should have men. Yep, there's men getting off onto the walls as we speak, and all of my troops on the walls should do very well against Egyptian pikemen, barring some type of strange game glitchy disaster or something. Gonna fall back with these Ozat Knights and with these, because they've gotten their first charge in there. I keep using my Persian archers to mow down these Egyptian javelin men. They're a big threat to my cavalry operating in the vicinity. Hey, I think I gave you all a retreat order, like, a long time ago. I don't think that was a suicide order. I'm gonna engage different spear units in the vicinity. And once we've engaged the different spear units, pull my archers back forward. We're gonna take care of the enemy javelin men in the vicinity so that my cavalry can finally operate properly. So there's the javelin men. Okay, here we go. Alright, the fight on the walls is underway. I'm taking some pretty stiff losses right here. I'm not really sure why. My swords should be at absolute no risk to Egyptian pikemen on a wall who are not in a pike formation. That should be like 0 risk, in fact. Okay, so let's hit play and finish off all of their naval reinforcements.
Our general is under attack.
Ozat Knights go after their general. Actually, you go after them. Let's rear charge with the Hellenic cataphracts right here. I'm going to turn all my Thurios spears off fire at will, so they don't make a quick discharge after defeating their enemies and then causing damage to our own cavalry.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Yeah, indeed it is. So I've taken a few losses in a few spots, but I figured this would be pretty well under control, and it is. Fight on the walls is definitely going in our favor. Egyptian pikemen are getting beaten up quite badly. And then the entire enemy fleet, barring one ship, has now been routed. And fall back from that position where that tower is firing at me. I don't see how the tower's actually in range, but it was shooting at me. Their archers are shooting at me as well. Get moving. They've got one more archer unit that's going to come off their boat here. Or sorry, slinger unit. I'm going to cut it down as soon as it gets off the boat. Alright, so our swordsmen have won the fight for the walls. Means we need to get down and finish the fight. That is an Egyptian pike unit still here, though. I've got a slinger unit down here working on me, too, that's annoying. I have to just start pulling swordsmen down from the walls. Alright, that Egyptian slinger's getting murdered. Enemy no longer controls the gatehouse. How did my Ozat Knights take so much damage in this fight? I find that hard to believe. Unless it took a few nasty javelin volleys or something. Like there's really nothing here that could possibly cause it that type of damage. Okay, these slingers over here are annoying. I'm gonna have to come down over here, get behind some of these slingers. I'll take all my thorax swords out of formation attack because I don't want them trying to maintain a formation here. I just want them to get up close and personal. Spearmen up here. Fighting our way through the citizen cavalry with the thorax swords, we should be able to achieve that. I'm gonna try burn the gatehouse, but there's a lot of enemy horses fleeing out through it. Like, CA please, like why do you let this stuff in the game? Like weird stuff like that. Why would the horses dying flee out of the city gate, and who would open it for them in the middle of a siege? So again, I don't know if there's a way to CA please enough on some of the weird stuff that takes place in these games. It is very, very strange and honestly quite nonsensical. Alright, I'm gonna attempt to burn the gatehouse down. My Thurio spears, so that I can stop taking damage to enemy skirmishers here. Trying to get to that slinger, but it's protected by other infantry. So I'm going to try and move these archers into position and put some fire up and over the wall into the slinger. I'm going to ignore that pike unit. We don't want to fight them right here. This Egyptian archer is putting a lot of damage into my Thurio spears, annoyingly. Alright, so the gatehouse, about halfway down. I've got some sword units free, finally. These Egyptian infantry are dying in droves. My archers are now in position, so please feel free to murder those slingers. Had about enough of them. I'm just going to refuse the engagement with those Egyptian pikes until I get the engagement on the terms that I want. Okay, the gates are mine, so now I can bring in my Ozat Knight and have it come run down these Egyptian archers. Okay, you got that Egyptian infantry. There goes the pikes. Means basically everything else should rout, or it very soon will. My cavalry's trying to force its way into the gates. I don't know where this thorax sword's going. I guess it was chasing that pike unit on an attack order. Hey, I don't remember having these units on fire at will. Why it shows a firing indicator on them. Let's get behind here. I need to get to these Egyptian slingers. I'm gonna get some cover behind this building. There could be some infantry units. Wait a minute. Whoa, whoa. What just happened here? Why is the boiling oil dumping on my own troops? What? The gatehouse is... The enemy troops are routing out through it, and it triggered the boiling oil, and they dumped it all over my own... Folks, like I said, the CA please... It can't be high enough here for some of the stupidity that happens in this game. Don't get me wrong, this is a fun game. It has a lot of redeeming features, and despite them spending years improving it, and improve it they did, there are still just some glaring examples of stupidity that were never addressed, and right there was a couple of them. My own gatehouse, burning boiling oil all over my men, just to get after routing troops, and no way to turn it off, no way to adjust those settings. So, like I said, CA, please. Well, I've already got a good barracks at Ammonium, which means we should probably convert this over to a stables. Probably be good to have recruiting available in every single province. We don't need this extra temple to Poseidon here. I've already got a sacred ground. Let's just tear this building down and put something else in its place, because that's what is going to make sense at this point. Cyrenicans have more armies beyond me. We do have quite a bit of money, so honestly, I think I'm just going to raise some troops in this army. With just a few more troops even. Like, it doesn't even have to be a full army. We can be pretty dangerous here. I cannot get good cavalry here. Yeah, we can. It's up here in the top row. Let's do this. There. It won't be a full army, but it'll be good enough to help beat back some of this type of crap that we're seeing over here. Now, the question is what to do with this army. I really don't want them to get a siege off on Antioch. So I really want to move to block their road to Antioch, but I want to stand within reinforcement range from Antioch. Ideally, still hopefully block off. Let's see, where does the reinforcement range comes out to? About like right here. Then hopefully my my army's zone of control won't block them from just trying to go around me, but they can't reach all the way to Edessa in one turn anyway, so that should not end up being too big of a deal. Check our buildings again here. First off, just checking for Apache Factories, which we don't have to worry about here at the moment. We still need a lot of Greek influence back here, so I may go ahead and build this Sacred Grove. I'm not going to have as much money to burn through on this turn in because I did some recruiting. Let's take a look at our army movement. Hannibal's Revenge has moved. Heracles' Pride's still waiting. Build the stables here. On the next turn, I can start recruiting some archers. Well, no, we'll probably want Persian Lights, at least. So we've still got some wait time there as well. We've moved all of our other armies, so I think it's time for a turn end here. I love that, man. Antiochus is level 10. Hannibal is level 9. So they have been very, very busy. Colchis retook Hatra, so I get a chance. I get a chance to retake what was once mine. As soon as I can get an army in the vicinity to do so. But for the time being, we are spread a little thin. But that won't remain forever. Alright, we had a raid. An increase in rank for our hero here. Let's take care of that quickly. He's now a proper arsonist. Okay. Here we go.
Is that all?
I'm gonna move towards Gazaka, I think. I may be able to reach it here. Yeah, we can. So the Bite of the Basilisk. I thought we killed these guys earlier. We may have. They may have reinstated this army legacy. They do have 4 Cartly Axemen, which are a match for our Thorax swords. They do not have pikes. We have superior range and cavalry. Though, well, I say range. We have superior range to a degree. They have a Greek giant ballista, which will give them greater range, but I should have greater damage. Be the idea here, so I could just siege them and make them come out against me, which would be better because then I could in some ways get, well, no, because they'll be all bunched up in this one, and I think we can, let's just assault them here. Let's just take care of this here and now. No more waiting. And as we beat these guys back, we're going to be putting them on the back foot because, you know, with the Heralds of Thanos, and I've got the Defenders of Olympus here, I've got Athena's Faithful, all ready to push against the Colchians, and then I have my army down in Egypt that on the next turn will be ready to come north and help deal with some of the crap stacks that have gotten around us. So our enemies are about to find themselves in a very unpleasant position. They've been getting away with murder for a number of turns here, and that's not going to long continue. Now, they fought me on the open battlefield here. I think that was a mistake on their part. I think that was a big mistake on their part. Spread wide. I'm going to take my Thorax Swords and Thurio Spears out of formation attack. Gonna need to be careful with our general. Enemy artillery can hurt your elephants. I'm gonna keep them at a pretty respectful distance behind my troops. I don't want any overshots take place here. Here we go. Alright, looking good. They've deployed their idiotic traps here, and really we can just... I don't know what the range is on that Greek Giant Ballista. I'm just going to move around the Greek Giant Ballista. Or sorry, I'm going to move around their traps and force their army to... Yeah, they do have range. It should have pretty limited ammo, though, I think. It's much more accurate than it should be, as well. Like, if you were shooting this thing from this kind of range with explosive shot, you would not be landing anywhere near that close to your target. I can promise you that. The explosive shots are extremely inaccurate for the player. So unless this thing was like gold chevroned with upgrades of some type, assuming that accuracy upgrades are even a thing, which I don't know if they are, I'm gonna have to get up here and rest again. I don't think the Greek Giant Ballista is mobile either. Yeah, I think it's completely static, which is one of its downsides. I'm gonna let my troops rest when they get up here. They're winded. Alright, so some of them are tired even. I'm gonna let them rest, and then I'm gonna continue to move on the flank, just so I don't have to deal with these stupid caltrops and other stuff. My elephants. Why are my elephants exhausted? Doesn't make any sense at all. Does anybody have any potential explanation why that would have happened? Like, why my elephants are exhausted? Did they berserk? Maybe? Some of them are dead? Did they take a shot from the ballista and then run amok? See a couple of dead guys there. Or did we just have damage on the elephant unit from prior battles? Like, I don't... I mean, if they took a flaming attack and then ran amok, I could see maybe that they're exhausted. But they were just following their move order over to here. That's very odd. I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know. I'm going to have to wait now for them to regain their stamina. I don't want them to be that out of sync with the rest of the army. They walked along this path right here. I do not see a dead elephant anywhere. Just a couple of archers and thorax pikes. I would think the dead elephant would be pretty easy to spot. Good grief, this game takes too long to regain your stamina. It's absolutely irritating. Just gonna sit still for a minute. Oh, I thought it was on fast forward. It's not. No wonder it's taking so long. Come on already. Winded. Active. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Alright, so after an extensive wait,
Riders, advance!
I'm now going to approach the enemy army over here. So I'm going to keep fast forwarding because we still got a long march. These maps in Rome 2 are rather large, and you end up wasting a lot of time marching around like this. No idea why these guys ran amok. If they ran amok. I said I can't... I mean, this unit is full. I don't know if that one means this one did start. I don't remember. You all have to look back because I can't rewind at the moment. Eastern Slingers, Slingers, Slingers. They got 4 Eastern Slingers to my 5 Persian archers. I'm going to push my Persian archers into range. I will take that engagement.
Battle group ready. We await your orders. Awaiting orders.
They're repositioning, so I'm going to reposition, get a little bit closer with my archers, and then I might be able to get a first volley here.
Orders, my lord. Persian archers.
It's going to be close. Yeah, I did get the first volley.
We are at your command.
I'm going to get into pike phalanx. So as to stymie the enemy infantry. Getting suicide charged by noble blood cavalry over here. That's less than ideal, actually.
Armored elephants!
Ready for orders.
But it is noble blood cavalry, so we should be okay.
Archers!
I'm going to focus that horse skirmisher real quick.
At the ready.
We are really hurting Slingers quite badly. We took some cavalry charges over here because I was totally not paying attention, so well done, Air. You are an absolute strategic genius.
Ready for orders.
No one even begins to compare. Start folding up this flank. The horse skirmishers are paying a pretty stiff price here, so are the noble blood cavalry. I want my general very safe from this engagement because this is not a safe engagement with all these missiles flying around.
At the double. Spears.
Just trade javelins with those horse skirmishers. My Median cavalry has the support
Awaiting orders.
of melee troops, and now I'm gonna send my elephants over too, and I'll wait for when the AI is trying to cycle charge, and after they recharge, I'll come after them. That's an axe unit right there. That's not ideal. Get rid of these slingers.
Spears ready. Ready. Ready.
Let's push up. I'm gonna close this flank over here. Push up my general a little. This noble blood cavalry is certainly a match for our Medians. More than a match, I should say.
For glory.
Let's see what we can do over here. I'm gonna continue to kill slingers. We're in a bad place right here. We are pinched by Colchian nobles. Need to get some help over there.
The battle is turning in our favor.
It is, but we've still got a bad situation going on there.
At the end!
Let's lend some support to those thorax swords in distress.
Swords.
I'm gonna put some arrows into the back of these axemen. See if I can convince them that it's not worth their while to keep fighting there anymore. We've got a full envelopment right there, or at least mostly a full envelopment. Let's take rid of these Greek giant ballistas. Get into those Cartly axemen. Around them with one unit. Alright, we've supported our thorax swords. They are currently alive, though not much more than that. I say they are alive. A few of them are alive. Very few.
Yours to command.
Right, archers. Oh crap. How'd they get a noble blood cavalry back over here?
Our orders.
To attack that with all my archers. I've got my pikes into their Colchian noble
We await your command.
to move to outflank it. The Cartly axemen were too few in number to be effective against my swordsmen. We got rid of that noble blood cavalry that was attacking us, and so that leaves just the Colchian noble here.
My lord, at your command.
I want my own archers to kill my general.
We await
Alright, so the
your
Colchian noble is about to be surrounded. My thorax pikemen, though, are working them over pretty thoroughly right now. Wait for this unit to swing into position and go for the rear charge here. There we go. That is going to be a clean victory over the Bite of the Basilisk, I believe was their name. I think that's the second time we've defeated them. Or just some other faction also had an army named the Bite of the Basilisk, which is totally possible. Totally possible. Alright. So Gazaka back under our control. Its peoples liberated from the Colchian tyranny. Excellent. Alright, this army is now ready to come help me out. So I am going to leave Egypt. I'm gonna make for Dura by means of Palmyra. Yay, Cyrenicans. So let's get focused back on the Cyrenicans. Need to stay on the trail here. I'm gonna push towards Macamades. Should now be able to make sure. Let's make sure Hannibal's not in the double time. Let's go into regular stance. He's now combined with the fleet. I can now push the fleet a little. And start sailing towards Carthago. Alright, so we are moving Hannibal towards his destination. Got good income at the moment. The Heralds of Thanos can push up considerably. I'm going to push all the way up the Colchian border here. And then we'll hit Gabala on the next turn. So we are ready for the invasion. Got my army coming from Egypt to retake what was once mine. So I think I'm going to take this army and actually move closer. They can't get to Edessa in a single turn. They could get there, though, unfortunately. Let's see what it's looking like a little up closer to the border here, closer to Samosata. Yeah, their army is still there. Sons of Rhea. Let us fortify here and block the Colchians from having any more troops getting past us. Okay, now it is time for us to take... Well, let's do a couple more things. Pericles' Pride needs some attention down here. They can start recruiting better skirmishers. These idiots are still raiding down here. I'm gonna just, like, I'm gonna push them back. That's ridiculous. So let's go ahead and disband these troops here. Some of those were mercenaries, so that'll save me some good upkeep. Oh, I still don't have access to the ones I want. My bad. Whoops. Well, I disbanded some troops for nothing. Oh well, we'll recruit him again soon, so that means Pericles' Pride gets to sit for a bit longer. Gets to sit for a bit longer. This army has not done anything substantive to me, which is good. I don't want them to. Alright, well, let's go take a look at the building situation. Not particularly worried about Parthia, Nabatea. Too worried about Syria at the moment. Oh, Libya needs a building. We had to tear down one here. I think we don't need a temple complex, so let's go with the public forum. Hellas. What do you hear on Cataphracts? Not the... Oh, we already had a Royal Stables elsewhere. That's how we got the Ozet Knights yet. Let's go ahead and make these upgrades. I may need to recruit from Hellas at some point in the foreseeable future in case, I mean, we have nothing there. If it gets invaded, we'll definitely want access to good troops. Considering that we don't have a lot of options. Let's upgrade these irrigation ditches. Got a lot of those on the way. That'll probably be fine for this turn end. Some of you may wonder why I'm not issuing the edict. I could issue it somewhere else. I intend to reissue it in Syria when I retake things, so that's me being optimistic. Let's see what's going on here.
The love of gold can stir evil.
What are they at war with?
Give us your gold.
I don't really want you to have military access. Let's make a counteroffer with them. We have a non-aggression pact and a trade agreement. Would they be interested in a defensive alliance? They are not. Yeah, I really don't want you walking around in my territory, because I kind of feel like they're going to betray me sooner or later. Looks like my ally is on the way to deal with the Arcosians, hopefully. Got multiple stacks moving in the right direction. Sagartia just sailed on. I don't know where they're headed. Enemy wounded. Subverted. Another one of our child died. That stinks. But we had a child born. Let's go see who it was born to. Ah, that was Hannibal's heir. So Hannibal's heir has a child now. We have lost so many children in our family tree. Holy cow. Like I said, I knew living was rough back then as a kid, but we are definitely experiencing it here. Let's get into politics. I'm going to have to pay off these other factions again with some secured loyalty. This is like CA's way of just draining your money every so many turns and then calling it a politics system. I personally don't really care for the politics system in this game. Is it better than what they had? I guess, because they had nothing, but it's not hard to beat nothing, and I don't think it necessarily makes this one good. This one is not awful. I think it's a bare minimum, right? It's probably the way I would describe it. It's a bare minimum. What happens if I send this guy to, like, Arcos? Yeah, we can't, because we're at war with them. Send him to Scythia, see what happens. This is risky. Send him to see the Scythians and see what he comes up with. All right, so I had to spend almost all of my turn's money on pointless political actions. It's the pay-to-avoid war system, which, like I said, is neither very innovative nor exciting. All right, Macomades is now in our reach. I intend to take it. So at least we're making progress on some fronts. Cyrenicans have the Thunderbolts of Zeus waiting here. We can't let them go around us. They would cause a lot of problems. So this army must be stopped. We can't allow it to get around us. This gem building is okay. I don't really want this docks here. I feel like it's going to be fairly pointless. Let's do the trading port. It's good income. And then let's tear this building down. Should be Hellenic influence here, is it not? Oh, it's Latin influence mostly. Hellenic is on the rise, so actually Rome is making their presence felt over here. A lot of Latin influence. It's the first time we've run into that. And that essentially leaves me out of money. But I do believe now we have some movement points elsewhere. Oh, I cannot wait to have our king strike back against Colchis. No one is more deserving of our ire than Colchis. So I'm going to take one of their settlements here at Gabala. And then I'm going to continue as quickly as I can to invade their territory. Convert. Well, actually, I can't do any conversions here. I'm going to have to tear that down. I do need to go check for Apache Factories. I'm running short of money, though, so I might have to cancel a building somewhere if we were about to turn one up. Let's move up to the border here and then fortify. And then we have replenished, and we've got the Colchians in a bad place here at Samosata. So the counter-invasion has well and truly gotten underway here. I'm going to actually just encircle these guys. They can only survive for a turn. And I want to force them out against me. This army is marching as quickly as possible towards Dura. And then I can retake Dura and Hatra with it. Should be strong enough. So on the next turn, start retaking my settlements. We haven't heard anything else. Those troops, Pericles' Pride. Still awaiting the right infrastructure. I don't want to make any upgrades to that army until I've got the right troops to do it with. So, may feel like a bit of a waste to some of you all, but it is what it is. Right before the episode ends, I'm going to check for Apache Factories. We do have some expanded settlements, and we can take care of that here sometime soon. But I'm going to wait till I have the money to do it. Otherwise, I'm trying to improve in other areas where I feel like it's more important. I could be wrong. I'm obviously not perfect at this game. Asia, Mesopotamia, Thracia. We do not have any Apache factories on the way, so that's going to be it. Hope you all enjoyed this one. I'm going to save it here. I'll be back soon with the next episode. Make sure you get down in the comments and participate there with the one-liner that I asked for, or just any comment that you would like to leave. If you watched this episode and you liked it, make sure and take that little bit of time to get up there and click the like button. Helps me a ton, and I hope to see you all next time. HeirofCarthage, signing out.